Hello students, this is Chandrasekhar, social science teacher, BGS Public School, Shitlagatta. Welcome to the session 4. In the last 3 sessions, we all learned in detail information about our constitution, like constituent assembly, who are the main members playing very important role in constituent assembly. Then drafting committee, who outlined the drafting committee like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He should be considered as the architect of Indian constitution. Then in detail information about preamble of our constitution. The preamble consists of we the citizens of India having solemnly sovereign, secular, democratic principles like. Then after we all learn in detail information about the important characteristics of our Indian constitution. So in this session we have to learn information about fundamental rights. In this session we all learn in detail information about fundamental rights. Here mainly the fundamental rights provide the social and political atmosphere necessary for the development of the personality of the citizens. Mainly here, dear students, you should be keep in your mind, fundamental rights are very important to us. We have to develop self, got it, socially, politically, and very important. So the fundamental rights are provided in the social, in society. Equality is very important. Equality is very essential. So that is why the fundamentals are rights are very important. And political atmosphere, if any persons against for the fundamental rights means, and we have a right to against to appeal case such a person. So atmosphere necessary for the development of the personality of the citizen. We have to develop self. Ourself means the fundamental rights are playing very important role, and they are required for a persons to lead civilized life in a society. Got it? It means we have to implementing in our life, got it, moral development. ನಾವು ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರಯುತವಾದ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ನಡೆಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ದ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯಿಂಗ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ರೋಲ್. ಸೊ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಟು ಲೀಡ್ ಎ civilized life in a society, and they are also essential for the success of democracy. Democracy being successful means fundamental rights are very important, because the fundamental rights are very useful to the human being. The fundamental rights are very useful to the human being, and there were 7 fundamental rights mentioned in the third part of our constitution. I already told, under the third part of our constitution mentioned for 7 fundamental rights, but however after the 44th amendment, through the 44th amendment, one right cancelled, one fundamental right cancelled. So that is right to property, including right to property, 7 fundamental rights. So 44th amendment, through the 44th amendment, one right cancelled. So that is the right to property. Dear students, at present there are only 6 fundamental rights. Now we have to learn one by one about for the fundamental rights. See the first one, right to equality. Right to equality is very important. See here, this right saying all are equal. This right saying all are equal. See, under this, all citizens are equal socially and economically before the law. In society, whether they belongs to any caste, any religion, got it, any kind of language person, mainly in our Indian country, here under the right to equality, all are equal. All are equal. So all are equal before the law, and nobody is above the law. Whether the person become a chief minister, whether prime minister, president, even common man, everybody under the constitution, all are equal. So this is the first fundamental right. So that is right to equality. See, all should get equal protection of the law. All should get equal protection. It means what about that? Saving, protecting, rakshane anta heltare. All are equal before the law, nobody is above the law. Already told. And all should get equal protection of the law. And none should be discriminated against the basis of their caste, religion, gender and place of the birth. Whether that person throughout the Indian country, wherever born, whether that person born in Tamil Nadu, whether in Karnataka, either in Andhra Pradesh, either in Maharashtra, so such any kind of state, we no need to do about the discrimination based on the fundamental rights. In religion wise also, whether that person belongs to Christianity, Hinduism, Sikhism, Buddhism, Jainism, any kind of religion, based on the fundamental rights, we no need to do for the discrimination. And even for the gender, whether male or female, no need to bother about. Everybody under the constitution equal. So that right to equality. No citizen should be subjected. No citizen should be subjected means harassment. No need to do for the harassment. No citizen should be subjected to any restrictions with regard to access to shops. It means once we visit for the shops means no need to do about the harassment. ನಾವು ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಟೆಂಪಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ, ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಬಹಿಷ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡುವಂತಿಲ್ಲ. Because there is one of the important fundamental right to equality. So that's saying no citizen should be subjected to any restriction with regard to access to shops and public restaurants, hotels, places of public entertainment or public places of worship, temples, historical places, cinema halls, shopping malls, railway station, bus station, air station, wherever we have to go, all are equal. So that is right to equality provided by our Indian constitution. This is the first fundamental right. So under this right, which right? Under the right to equality, untouchability is offense. Based on the caste, we no need to discriminate to any other caste people. Under this right, untouchability is an offense. Got it? You should be keep in your mind. Offense is, it is one of the important crime. Untouchability is one of the important. We know we can do the discrimination means it is one type of crime. This right has enabled every citizens to get an equal opportunity to join government services. Throughout the Indian country, this right very essential to each and every one person of our Indian country. So like here, the right to equality playing very important role. So here socially and economically before the law all are equal. No one can above the law and no one can below the law. And these fundamental right mainly providing protection to the law and order and people. No need to discriminate against the basis of caste, religion, gender, place of birth, etc. And we have a right to enter for the shops, public restaurants, hotels, places of public entertainment or public places of worship like. And under this right, untouchability is the offense. We no need to blame and we no need to discriminate to any other caste people, because constitution providing one important right, so that is right to equality. Then second important, right to freedom. Right to freedom. See the article 19 to 22. 19 to 22. Right to freedom. Here see, under this right, it means under the right to freedom, one who expresses his own opinion. We have a right to express our own feelings, own opinions, but legally, but not for illegally. One who expresses his own opinion and to conduct meetings without arms. Got it? We have to conduct public meetings like any some of the important assembly meetings or whatever like, but we no need to use for the arms. It means weapons. ಆಯುಧಗಳನ್ನು ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. So like saying, and we established two organizations, whether industries, whether hotels whether any kind of schools, colleges, we have a right to establish. So that is a right to freedom, right to freedom, and to live anywhere in India, whether you born in Karnataka, whether you born in Karnataka, you have a right to go on settled in Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Gujarat, etc. places, because throughout the Indian country, wherever you interested, you have a right to settle in that place. So that is to live anywhere in India and to follow any professional and move around the country. Follow any profession. What is the meaning of professional? Like means to be a lawyer, doctor, engineer, chartered accountant. You have a right and you have a choice to choose become a such a person and move around the country to do for the job purpose. There is no restrictions. There is no restrictions, because here constitution providing the second right, right to freedom, right to freedom. See, it is a protective right. It is a right to freedom, protective, ರಕ್ಷಣಾತ್ಮಕ, ನಮಗೆ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. It is a protective right also, and no one can be arrested without a proper reason. Without proper reason. In case few times it is possible, we can see in lot of movies, so many movies, without reason arresting and keeping in a jail, prisoning, that we should consider. But here right to freedom, we have a right to ask for the police department. Got it? Without proper reason, no one can arrested without proper reason. So right to freedom, this is the second fundamental right provided by our Indian constitution. So under this right, we have a right to express our own opinions and conduct meetings without arms, establish schools, colleges, hotels, any kind of organizations, live anywhere of our Indian country, and to follow any profession, and we have a right to move throughout the Indian country, and without proper reason, no need to arrest to any one person of our Indian country. So this is the right to freedom. Right to freedom. This is the second fundamental right, and no state law can snatch the life and freedom of a citizen. Do you know that life? What is the meaning of here? Snatch. ಕಿತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟು ಜನರಿಂದ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ರೈಟ್ಸನ್ನು ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ ಕಿತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ರೈಟ್ ಟು ಫ್ರೀಡಮನ್ನು ಕಿತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ರೈಟ್ ಟು ಈಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿಯನ್ನು ಕಿತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನೋ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ law can snatch the life and freedom of a citizen. So this is about right to freedom. And right against exploitation. Right against exploitation. See, like, look at these pictures. Look at this picture, dear students. There is a sati system. What it? In ancient time, in case husband died means along with her husband, she also burning with her husband. Got it? And see, small children's, they working some of the important wood factories, bars, restaurants, hotels. Got it? And there is a domestic violence upon the females, especially for male. This is one type of exploitation or one type of harassment, and we have a right to against for such a situation. And we have a right to against for such a situation. So the aim of the right is prevent exploitation of women, protect the exploitation of women. Nowadays, there is a lot of domination, harassment available for upon the females, children, and poor people, and a very weak people. The aim of this right, which right? The right to against exploitation, to prevent, ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲಾಯಿಟೇಷನ್, ಹ್ಯಾರಾಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂದವರು ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಯಾರನ್ನು ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ವುಮೆನ್, ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್, ಪೂರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ವೀಕ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಬೆಗ್ಗಿಂಗ್, ದ ದೇವದಾಸಿ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್, ದ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸತಿ, immoral activities and forced labor have been prohibited. Look at these pictures, you can understand very very easily. So this is the picture of begging, got it? And this is the devadasi system, got it? And this is the practice of sati. and immoral activities. Look at here, immoral activities and forced to labor. See, forced to labor have been completely prohibited under the one of the important act like right to against exploitation and especially employment of children under 14 years. Under 14 years of age in mining, industries and other dangerous occupations is punishable under the law. In case above 14 years, no problem. Whether they are working in mining, industries or danger occupations, no problem. But below 14 years children are working means under the law it is a punishable, it is a crime. So like this is one of the important fundamental rights. So that is the right against exploitation. The main aim of this prevent exploitation from women, children and poor and weak people. Got it? And prohibition of the begging system, devadasi system, practice of sati, immoral activities and forced labor have been prohibited. And under 14-year children working in mining, dangerous occupations also completely prohibited, and it is one type of crime in case we should encourage to them means. So this is right against exploitation, third important fundamental right. Look at here. The union government implemented the following acts to avoid exploitation. Government, it means central government, implemented some of the important laws, it means acts to completely eradication of the exploitation upon the women, children, poor and weaker sections. So Minimum Wages Act of 1948, Dowry Prohibition Act of 1961, Prevention of Bonded Labor Act in 1976, Sati Prevention Act in 1987, Human Rights Conservation Act of 1993, Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act in 2005. So these are the very important rights implemented by union government. So the Minimum Wages Act, if the person's doing a work means, got it, equal pay for equal work, got it. And dowry prohibition, so that is one type of bribe, ಲಂಚ ಅಂತ ಮದುವೆ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಣ್ಣಿನ ಕಡೆಯವರು ಗಂಡಿನ ಕಡೆಯವರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಡೌರಿ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಹಿಬಿಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಇಯರ್ ಆಫ್ 1961. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಿವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಾಂಡೆಡ್ ಲೇಬರ್, mainly this bonded labor, person forced to work if the persons are not interested to do for the work but by forcing to do for the work, so that is the bonded labor. And this was implemented in 1976. And Sati Prevention Act, already told, in case in ancient time and during the period of Middle Ages this is possible. Got it? Do you know like that? Mainly Raja Ram Mohan Rai, one of the important social reformer, completely prohibited the sati system in the year of 1829 with the help of Lord William Bentinck. So that is, and then our Indian government implemented Sati Prevention Act in 1987. Then Human Rights Conservation. So each and every one person need their basic right to freedom, right to equality, right to education. So such important rights. So that implemented in 1993. Protection of women from domestic violence in a home, majority of the families there is a violence upon the female, especially for the women. So this is also completely prohibited. Purpose, government implemented one of the important act. So that is Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act of 2005. So this is right to against exploitation. Right to against exploitation. This is the third important fundamental right. Then right to freedom of religion. Right to freedom of religion. Dear students, India consists of different and variety types of the religion. In our Indian country there is a Hindu religion, Sikh religion, Buddhism, Jainism, Christianity, Islamic religion. So kinds of religions are available. So here right to freedom of religion. Then what is the meaning of right to freedom of religion? Since India is a secular country, it means available for different and variety types of the religions. no religion has been given the status of a national religion. Special importance not received by any kind of religion. There is a equal importance for each and every one religion of our Indian country. Got it? India not given special importance to any one religion. There is a equal importance for government treating all the religions are equal. So citizens can accept any religion that their conscience dictates, practice, and it propagate. Got it? So it dictates means an order. ಯಾರು ನಮಗೆ ಆದೇಶ ಕೊಡೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ನೀನು ಇದೇ ರಿಲಿಜಿಯನ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾರೋ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು got it, ನೀನು ಹಿಂದೂ ಧರ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದರೆ ನೀನು ಕ್ರಿಶ್ಚಿಯನ್ ಧರ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲ ನೀನು ಇಸ್ಲಾಂ ಧರ್ಮದಲ್ಲೇ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಯಾರು ಬೈ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಆ ಒಂದು ಧರ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಿಸೋಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. What by? In case we are all born in Islamic religion, we are not interested to lead a life in Islamic religion. We won't like for the rituals, traditions, customs of the Islamic religion. We can change our religion to Hinduism, Christianity, Jainism, Buddhism. As it is like, in case you are not interested to do the religious practice of Hinduism, got it? You won't like the principles of Hinduism, then you have a right to change to any kind of religion like Islam, Christianity, Jainism, Buddhism, like. By force, no need to live in. We have a choice, we have a desire to take our own religion. So that is, citizens can accept any religion that their conscience dictates, practice, and it propagate it, spread. Got it? No one can be forced to pay taxes for the management of religious institutions. So based on the religion, got it? Here government not collecting tax based upon the religions. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂದೂ ಧರ್ಮದವರು ಏನಾದರೂ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ಸನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಟಿದರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋವಂಥದ್ದು, ಇಸ್ಲಾಂ ಧರ್ಮದವರು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್. ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟು ದ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಈಚ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ can pay the tax, but based on the religion we no need to collect for the tax. No one can be forced to pay taxes for the management of a religious institutions like Hinduism, like Buddhism, Jainism, Islam, Christianity, etc., etc., etc. So use of religious places for political and other activities has been prohibited in the country completely. Got it? Politics purpose, we no need to use for the religious places. We no need to use for the religious places. For example, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ತಿರುಪತಿ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಅಸೆಂಬ್ಲಿಯನ್ನು ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆ ಒಂದು ಧರ್ಮದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಚಾರವನ್ನು ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಆ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓಟುಗಳನ್ನು ಕೇಳೋದು ಆ ರೀತಿ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. got it? As it is like Christian places, Islamic places, ಪಾಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ವಿ ನೋ ನೀಡ್. ರಾಜಕೀಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಂಥ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. So that is use of religious places for political and other activities has been prohibited. It means banned in the country. So this is the fourth important fundamental right. So that is right to freedom of religion. Right to freedom of religion. Then fifth one, cultural and educational right. What is the meaning of here cultural and education? Let's see. Right to get education. You have a right to get any kind of education throughout the country. Every child has a right to get basic education. Every child has a right to get basic education and have a right to practice any kind of culture throughout the nation. So that is cultural and educational rights. Look at here. All citizens of the country have their own language, script and culture. What is the meaning of script? Here means writing. Script means writing. Throughout the Indian country, in Karnataka, Kannada, Andhra Pradesh, Telugu, Tamil Nadu, Tamil, Kerala, Malayalam. So like own languages, own writing is there, and in that states practicing of own culture is there. So all citizens of the country have their own language, script and culture. It is the duty of the state to protect them. Karnataka culture, it is the duty of the Karnataka government to protect them. Andhra culture, it is the responsibility of Andhra state. Tamil Nadu culture, it is the responsibility of the Tamil Nadu. But overall the languages, script, culture, it is the responsibility of the central government. It is the responsibility of the central government because under the constitution, especially fundamental rights are provided here. The cultural and educational rights playing very, very important role. This right protects the interest of religious and linguistic minorities, languages. Got it? Even religions also very, very important. Here different and kinds of people celebrating for variety types of the festivals and different occasions. We have to protect it. And linguistic, based on the languages, celebrating different kinds of festivals in different states. It is our duty to protect to that, because cultural and educational rights are very, very important. And no one can be denied admission in a government and aided institution or institutions run by minorities. So you are not adding for the private. ಸೊ ಸರ್ಕಾರಿ ಶಾಲೆಗಳು, ಸರ್ಕಾರಿ ಅನುದಾನಿತ ಶಾಲೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರನ್ನೇ ಸಹ ನಾವು ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ನಿರಾಕರಣೆ ಮಾಡುವಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ರೈಮ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಟ್? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್ government constitution provided fundamental rights like cultural and educational right. See there, mainly right to get education, article 29, protection of interest of minorities and very, very important, and article 30, right of minorities to establish and administration educational institutions. So like here playing very, very important role. Dear students, this is one of the important fifth fundamental rights that provided by constitution. So that is cultural and educational rights. Here right to education is every child's fundamental right. Right to education is every child's fundamental right. The Indian constitution guarantees cultural and educational rights under the articles 29 and 30. So under these articles, each and every one child of our nation to get education. So right to education is every child's fundamental right. So according to the article 21A, education is considered as a fundamental right. So right to equality, right to freedom of religion. So like here, right to education. Right to education also, it is one of the fundamental right under the article of 21A. So based on this, government should provide free and compulsory education. 6 to 14 years children, compulsory education provided by the government. So that is because of the reason that is a fundamental right of the children. Which one? Education is a fundamental right of the children. So like here, cultural and educational rights are playing important role in the constitution. Got it? So cultural and educational rights. Then dear students, sixth fundamental right, right to constitutional remedies. Right to constitutional remedies. You see, the constitution has not only given fundamental rights to the citizens of the India, but also guaranteed them under article 32. ನಮಗೆ ಸಂವಿಧಾನ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ಸ್ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರಕ್ಷಣೆಯನ್ನು ಸಹ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ 32 ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅವರ್ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ರೈಟ್ಸ್. ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ 100% protection to our fundamental rights, right to equality, freedom of religion, got it? Cultural and educational rights, etc. In case whenever the rights are violated, it means neglected, discriminated, either a person, either a common man, whether state government or the central government, the citizens may appeal directly to the Supreme Court for their protection. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ರೈಟ್ಸನ್ನು ಸಂವಿಧಾನ ನಮಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ಅದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ 32 ನಮಗೆ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನನ್ನು ಸಹ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಹಕ್ಕುಗಳು ಅಂದರೆ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ರೈಟ್ಸನ್ನು ಯಾರಾದರೂ ವೈಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಮಿಸ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಕಾಮನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಅದರ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ನಾವು ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಕೇಸನ್ನು ಅಪೀಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಕೇಸನ್ನು ಅಪೀಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೂ ಸಹ ಕೇಸನ್ನು ನಾವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಅಪೀಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಟು ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನಲ್ ರೆಮಿಡೀಸ್, we can appeal case to the Supreme Court. Got it? See, under this mainly Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has called this right the heart and soul of the Constitution. Which right? Got it? Heart to soul. Heart ಅಂದರೆ ಹೃದಯ, ಸೋಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಆತ್ಮ. ಆತ್ಮ ಮತ್ತು ಹೃದಯ. ರೈಟ್ ಟು ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ರೆಮಿಡೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಆತ್ಮ ಮತ್ತು ಹೃದಯ. ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕಂದರೆ ರೈಟ್ ಟು ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನಲ್ ರೆಮಿಡೀಸ್. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ B.R. Ambedkar called, who has called right to constitutional remedies as the heart and soul of the Constitution means Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So if any individual or the government or the center neglect the fundamental rights means we have a right and we have a choice to appeal case against to such a person. So the Supreme Court is empowered to enforce the fundamental rights. Here Supreme Court given protection to the fundamental rights. Supreme Court given protection to the fundamental rights. Mainly Supreme Court is a backbone of fundamental rights. The Supreme Court is empowered, got it, giving protection to the fundamental rights. Hence it is called the protector of the fundamental rights. Why Supreme Court is called the protector of the fundamental rights means because the Supreme Court is empowered to enforce the fundamental rights. It is given protection to fundamental rights. This is the reason mainly Supreme Court is called as the protector of fundamental rights. Even the High Court have the power to pass the following writs under the Article 226. Do you know, like here writs means legal document by a court of law. So this is, it should be properly understood. ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ರೈಟ್ಸನ್ನು ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ರಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಬರವಣಿಗೆಯ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ನಾವು ಆ ಒಂದು ಕೇಸಸನ್ನು ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬೋದು. ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೂ ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೂ ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಈವನ್ ದ ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಪವರ್ ಟು ಪಾಸ್ ದಿ ಫಾಲೋಯಿಂಗ್ ರಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ 226. ಇವಾಗ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂಥ ರಿಟ್ ಪಿಟಿಷನ್ಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಮ್ ಪಿಟಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈವನ್ that petitions pass to Supreme Court. So here there is a one question, what are the writ petitions accepted by High Court or Supreme Court under the Article 226, that we have to learn one by one now. So dear students, this is about fundamental rights. So here some of the important writs. First one is habeas corpus. Habeas corpus, the order passed by the Supreme Court or the High Court to produce a person within specified time frame is called habeas corpus. This protects the individual right of a person in case any person did a crime, robbery, murder, etc., etc. That case transferring from district courts to High Court and High Court to Supreme Court. Got it here? So on that time, under the habeas corpus, one of the important writ, ಕೇಸನ್ನು ಬೇಗ ಮುಗಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಡೇಟನ್ನು ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಡೇಟಿಗೆ ಇಂಥ ಒಬ್ಬ ಪರ್ಸನನ್ನು ನೀವು ಈ ಕೋರ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಆ ಡೇಟ್ಗೆ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೇಬಿಯಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಪಸ್. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ರಿಟ್. ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ರಿಟ್ ಪಿಟಿಷನ್ಸನ್ನು ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಕೊಲೆನೋ ಸುಲಿಗೆನೋ ದರೋಡನೋ ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಬೇಗ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಜೈಲಿನಲ್ಲೇ ಇರುವಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೇ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದಟ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಏನಾದರೂ ಕೋರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬೇಗ ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅವ್ರ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ಸು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ರಿಟ್ಟನ್ನು ಬರೀಬೋದು ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ಹೇಬಿಯಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಪಸ್. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ಜನರಿದ್ದರು, ಇಂಥ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಇಂಥ ರೀತಿಯಂಥ ಅಪರಾಧವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆದರೆ ಇದುವರೆಗೂ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಬೇಗ ಕರೆಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಸವಿನಯ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಎಂದು ಬರವಣಿಗೆ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಬೇಗ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಕರೆಸ್ಕೊತಾರೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಹೇಬಿಯಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಪಸ್, ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ರಿಟ್. So like producing to the court. And second one, mandamus, when the legislature, executive or any other subordinate institution fail to perform certain duties. Here look at here, central government irbodu, whether state government, whether district level, any kind of person have to do their duties properly. In case the persons are neglecting means, the persons are neglecting means, through the writing we can appeal case directly to the president and governor. ಗವರ್ನರ್ಗೂ ಬರೆದು ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ರಿಟ್ ಪಿಟಿಷನನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು, ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೂ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು, ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ಗೂ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಲ್ ಆರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್. ಸೊ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡಮಸ್, ವೆದರ್ ಲೆಜಿಸ್ಲೇಚರ್ ವೆನ್ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್, ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್, ಅದರ್ ಸಬಾರ್ಡಿನೇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆದರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ವೆದರ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಫೇಲ್ ಟು ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಸರ್ಟೈನ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟೀಸ್, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂಥ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, the involving in a corruption means we have a right to appeal case upon the such a persons through the writ petition of mandamus. This is the second important writ. So like see, this is one of the important. And third one, prohibition. Third one is a prohibition. So when a subordinate court pass the judgment beyond the jurisdiction or the judgment is against the sense of natural justice, the higher court pass order against such a judgments. The order is called as prohibition. So this can be passed against the lower court by the higher court. In case any one person did a mistake, so submitting to the district level court, the district judgment, the district court judgment not satisfied to us, we can appeal case to the high court. In case the high court judgment also we not satisfied, ಅವರು ಎಗನೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ನ್ಯಾಯವನ್ನು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೂ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಹೈ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೂ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ರಿಟ್ ಪಿಟಿಷನನ್ನು ಬರೆದುಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಗೊಡೆ ನಮಗೆ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟನ್ನು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೊ ನಾವು ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟಲ್ಲೂ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಎ ರಿಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ prohibition. This is very very important writ. And certiorari, another one is the certiorari. See, when the subordinate courts pass judgment beyond the jurisdiction or against the sense of natural justice, the higher orders the submission of force related to the judgment to this order is called as certiorari. ಸೊ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟನ್ನು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೊಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಪ್ರಾಪರಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿರ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಗಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿರ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಗಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ದ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಫೈನಲ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್. The Supreme Court judgment is a final judgment. We have to accept that. So that is a certiorari. This is one of the important writ providing by Constitution to the people. We can appeal. Got it? And the last one, co-warrant. Last writ, co-warrant. The order directing the right person to occupy the right public office is called as co-warrant. So the order is passed against persons who hold public offices illegally by the higher courts. So this should be properly understood. We can get any employment opportunities legally means certain qualifications are very very important. But at present 21st century, got it? So we can creating so many duplicate marks cards. ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ಎಜುಕೇಷನನ್ನು ಪಡೆದೇ ಇದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ನಮ್ಮದು MBBS ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಡೂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಟ್ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ಸನ್ನು ಪಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು. ಆ ಒಂದು ಡೂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಟ್ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ಸ್ ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ನರ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಹೋಮು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದರೆ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಮಾಡೋವಂಥದ್ದು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಜಾಬಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಆ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ಸಿಚುಯೇಷನ್ನು ಡೂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ಸಿಂದ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಗ್ನೆಸ್ಟ್. ಆ ರೀತಿ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಡೂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ಸಿಂದ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಫಿಕೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೇ ಇದ್ರೂ ಅವ್ರ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾದರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೂ ಸಹ ನಾವು ರಿಟ್ ಪಿಟಿಷನ್ನ ಬರೆದು ಕೋರ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪಿಯಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಅಂಥವ್ರನ್ನ ಪನಿಷ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ co-warrant. The order directing the right person, so qualified person to occupy the right public office, qualified person qualified ಜಾಬನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅದು co-warrant. ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಎಗನೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲೀಗಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತದು. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಕೇಸನ್ನು ಅಪಿಯಲ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ about for the co-warrant. So such a important writs accepted by High Court, and that High Court that writs passed to the Supreme Court. So here there are totally 5 writs are there. Okay dear friends, so here fundamental rights, public interest litigations. Got it? Public interest is very important to give protection for the fundamental rights, and in the same way through the fundamental rights we can save for the public, and in the same way environment, polluted environment completely avoid, and we have protect for the environment. And mainly here we can give protection to the individuals and social institutions. So like here fundamental rights are playing very important role, and in recent years we see that court on their own are filing such public interest litigations when situations arise. ಜನರಿಗೆ ಧಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುವಂಥ ಏನಾದರೂ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ರೈಟ್ಸನ್ನು ಎಗ್ನೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೂ ಸಹ ಕೇಸನ್ನು ಹಾಕ್ಬೋದು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ fundamental rights are playing very important role. Like then dear friends, another one important topic, fundamental duties. Okay dear friends, in the next session we have to learn in detail information about at what type of fundamental duties are there, then what is the meaning of fundamental duties like. This is Chandrasekhar, social science teacher, BGS Public School, Shitlaghatta. Thank you. Have a nice day.